Why does bad shit keep happening to me? I don't deserve this. I'm a good person. Is this karma? I bet you get those questions a lot, don't you? So why is that stuff happening to you? Do you deserve it? Did you ask for it? Well, people are always saying whatever you send out to the universe, it gives it back to you. You've heard that. It's like you give out good karma, you receive good karma. You give out bad karma, you receive bad karma. So you might be questioning, okay, well, all this bad stuff is happening to me, but I'm not giving out bad karma. Why is this coming at me? Well, a lot of you watching probably are on somewhat of a spiritual journey. If not, just listen anyway. So a lot of times when things happen in your life, they're nudges. And they're trying to tell you, stop. Look at something, reflect something. You're going the wrong way. For example, you driving on the road, you come to a dead end. Well, you stop, you can't go any further. You hit a pothole, you get a flat tire. You can't go any further, right? So things are stopping you from going further. And when bad things happen to you in your life, it's kind of telling you, stop. Stop what you're doing. Change what you're doing. Now, it could be something as simple as you lose your job. You lose your boyfriend or girlfriend. You can't seem to get a job. Your car gets in an accident. A lot of big one for a lot of you is your health issues. And little nudges may have been showing you you're going the wrong way, but then sometimes these big things are saying, hello, wake up. And I can't tell you what to do. You're the one that has to look at them and reflect, why are these things happening? You could say, I've lived a great life, and now all of a sudden everything's going bad for me. Or you could say, I've had a really crappy life and everything's going bad for me. If you believe, some people say that you sign a contract before you come to this earth to work out your karma. And in your contract, you may have signed up for a hard life. You wanted this stuff in your life to help push stuff out of you. I mean, you've heard about the phoenix rising after it burns up in fire. You've heard of the finding of gold and silver. You have to put it through intense heat. When things freeze during the winter so they can come out in the spring, beautiful. That's kind of what happens to you when you go through bad stuff in your life. So this is the universe basically putting pressure on you. A diamond comes out beautiful, doesn't it? But it goes through a lot of pressure. So that's really kind of what the universe is doing to you. It's putting a lot of pressure on you to change. And the more you resist, the more pressure it's going to put on you. And the universe is only going to give you what you can handle. Now, you may be in a situation you're like, damn, I don't think I can handle this anymore. Enough already. This sucks. Well, it may be because you're still not kind of doing what the universe wants you to do. There may be something you're just keep going down this same path, living your life the same way, and all this shit just keeps coming your way, and you're like, damn it, stop, stop, stop. First thing you can do is start reflecting on your attitude about everything that's happening. Yeah, it sucks, but maybe you inside need to start looking at things differently in your life. That's hard to do. There's a saying I like called, everything in the universe is exactly as it should be in this moment. And when I go through some tough stuff, I'm like, I try to tell myself that. Everything in the universe is exactly as it should be at this moment. Because if something bad is going on, I've become more aware that I need to pay attention. Okay, if something's bad's going on, why? Now I can reflect a lot on that. You could be saying, well, I feel like I've worked out a lot of stuff and I've gone through this phase of being really happy. I've healed myself. I've manifested this, but now all of a sudden things are going crappy. What the heck is going on? Well, your life isn't always going to be up here. It's not always going to be happy. You're going to have always be constantly changing. There's going to never be like a perfect point in your life. I guess life would be boring if it was always just at that perfect point. So these things are going to constantly be happening to you, especially if you're ever evolving. Some people, you can look at some people and say, well, they've got such an easy life and they've had a happy marriage and they seem pleasant and they seem happy. Well, maybe they've worked out a lot of their shit and they're present with themselves and they're happy. And when a circumstance comes their way, they deal with it in a different way. They're like, okay, this happened. Okay, I can deal with this. But other people are like, why did this have to happen? Dang it, this is one thing after another. Well, you're sending that out to the universe, like another thing, another thing, another thing. And you're basically complaining, and the universe is like, okay, you want to be negative? Here you go, here's some more stuff. And it's like it's like the universe is trying to tell you to change your perspective. Another way you can look at it, though, and I've experienced this recently, is that you asked for this. A lot of people, when they first take their steps in their spiritual journey, they feel like their whole world is falling apart. And I think it's because the universe is like, okay, you're ready for this, hang on. Because you really do, because things might just start falling apart. You're like, I want to change my life, this is so amazing, this is so wonderful. You want to change your life? Well, it's going to come at you, and it's going to press at you harder. Back in December, right before I went to a Dispenza event, I had made a vow, an intention, whatever you want to call it, that I wanted to get back to my true self. And because I had gotten a message basically that I had made a promise to myself that I'm never going to be my true self again. And I'm like, what? Somebody else had told me that. And I'm like, yeah, I guess you could say I kind of did that. I don't feel like I've been living my life for myself. I've been living my life for other people, through other people, and how I think people should view me. I've been living my life that way, and I really haven't been living up to my true self. So I made this vow that I am going to be my true self. I would like to be my true self. And ever since I made that vow, it's been hard. It's been really hard. If you've seen my video of the Dark Night of the Soul, that was a very tough time that I went through about a year ago. It was hell, and I wanted to go back to being sick me because it was so horrible. This was on a different kind of level, I guess you can say. I guess having gone through a Dark Night of the Soul, I knew that what I was going through was part of the process, and I tried not to be negative about it, and I was trying to embrace everything that was happening to me. I mean, wow, it's hard to go into a lot of details, but it lasted for about 3 months. So they always say, be careful what you wish for. It was a lot of overcoming myself, overcoming my environment, and then all these things just started kind of coming together a little bit, if you will. Coming together, but also falling apart. I don't know how you want to explain it. We have some friends that we had met about a year ago, 2 years ago maybe now, and they had recently moved in Chicago, and they were like, come visit us. We're like, okay, great. Little did I know, they lived like 10 minutes from my childhood home. I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. So I was like, I just had this feeling I wanted to go visit my childhood home. Now, you know, I know some of you have had horrible, traumatic experiences as a child, but for me, I mean, I was just a, middle class, did ballet, dance, and, I did everything that a kid does, My parents stayed married. I didn't have a broken home or anything like that. I had just a regular, good life, if you will. But going to my childhood home, didn't feel anything until we drove around to the side and I saw my bedroom window, and I felt my past self, my young self, sad and lonely, and it really hurt inside. And if you've watched a lot of my videos, I've had this theme of dealing with loneliness. And yeah, and so a lot of emotions came up. And then I got kind of this message that I should go see this Reiki person. And I was like, okay, let me go do this. I went and saw him. The next day I woke up and I was coughing and my throat was swollen. And 2 months went by. As I left Chicago, though, I was given the message that my work was not done, but my body couldn't handle it. I was so sick and so weak when I left Chicago. I haven't been sick in 2 years, by the way, so I don't take this sickness that came on as being sick. It was my body processing stuff. I've dealt with my fifth center and speaking, my voice, and I lost my voice for on and off. Like, it was real bad, kind of came back, went away. I was sick for 2 months with a horrible cough. I woke up in the hotel room with my lung hurting so bad. And I had been told by 2 practitioners that I hold grief in my left lung. And I felt like I was literally coughing out my left lung. And, but anyway, so this went on for about 2 months. I went and saw another practitioner because I've been meditating, trying to just get rid of maybe past life stuff or my going to my past. And I felt all wrapped up in all these emotions as a child. And I saw this lady and she was helping me deal with past lives and my current life, how I got picked on in the playground, and there was a lot of emotions attached around that. And I think it was that evening or the very next day, I can't even remember, I lost my voice so horribly. My throat swelled up so bad that I was scared to go to sleep that night because it was so bad. And the next morning I did a meditation. I don't remember what meditation I did, but by the afternoon it was gone. And something had told me I should sign up for coherence healing. I had a lot of friends pushing me, and one just showed up. And if you know, those are very hard to sign up for. You know, I'm one of those people like, oh, I can't, I can do this on my own. But I did a coherence healing the very next day after this whole losing my voice thing. And it really helped to turn me around. And then after that, I started doing more and more meditations. It was just like this whole like turning point. I still kind of was dealing with the coughing and stuff, but it was like it was coming out. And I guess I had reached a turning point, and now I would say I'm over that. I know I'm still dealing with stuff in my life. I mean, I feel like we're always dealing with stuff. And now I can look back at it and I'm like, well, it wasn't that bad, but oh man, I was on the couch. I did not leave the house for a month. Like, I did 2 times to go to the grocery store with my husband, and I was so weak. But after I had that coherence healing, I drove an hour into the city and I ran errands for 5 hours and I was fine. So some of you that might be hesitating to get a coherence healing because you don't think you're worthy, you are worthy and you need it. And don't feel like you have to do this on your own. Those people want to help you. And they did help me. They helped me just by loving me. That's all they did. And all I had to do was accept that. But going back now to, why does this bad shit happen to me? Why does it keep happening to me? So, like I said, I went off on this tangent, but I'm showing you that I asked for that. And I feel now that I have overcome this huge hump because I had a lot of emotions going inside those past 3 months. And I've had those little tidbits of that for the last couple of years. And now I had this meditation where I'm in the, is it first person? Seeing myself like living through my eyes, but I actually was the observer, the third person. And I viewed my entire life from the third person. And that meditation alone just changed everything on my perspective, on my feelings, my emotions inside. So the point I'm making with this story is that if you have bad things going on in your life, you need to try to embrace those and know this is part of you evolving into that next better version of you. You're ever evolving, so you're never going to be this tip-top perfect version. You're always wanting to evolve more. You may get to that point. You're like, okay, I want to be this person. Then all of a sudden you're that person. Then you want to be even better. You're just wanting to constantly evolve. And when you're wanting to constantly evolve, things are going to be pushed at you. And things are going to be taken from you. And it's just, you know, people are like, I've always heard this growing up because I was raised Christian. Why is God testing me? Why would God do that to me? Why would God take that away from me? I blame God for this. Well, you can, but at the same time, this is you. You're being pushed to do something. You're being pushed to change. You're being pushed to open your eyes. And you asked for it. Whether you signed up for it before you came to this earth, or whether you subconsciously are wanting it, or the universe is just like, dude, come on, seriously, what are you doing? Come on, and they're pushing you. And you can listen to those gentle nudges that are like, you should do this. And you're like, no, I can't do it. Like, a lot of you are like starting your own business. You could like hear this little nudge that are like, start your own business. Oh, I can't do that. I need money. How am I going to do this? And you question it. But when you hear that, something is telling you, do it. That's what you need to do. And the more you resist, it feels like the more things get bad. I mean, I could use my husband as an example. Same thing. Is I kept telling him, you've got to start your own business. He always felt like bosses were just like, you know, and he's just like, I thought he'd be better as his own boss. And I kept pushing him. And then finally it took me getting sick, and they fired him for basically taking off too much time for work to take care of me. And he was basically forced to start his own business. And once he did, it just boomed, took off. And he's like, dude, why didn't I do this earlier? So same thing. It was like this job he was at was such a freaking horrible job. It was like he went from one job to the next, trying to think he'd get a better job. But it's like every job he went to actually got worse and worse and worse. And then he was at this job, it's just like, oh my goodness, I hate this freaking job, and he couldn't find a new one. Well, basically the universe was like, here, now you don't have the job. What are you going to do now? And so he, I mean, it was great. I mean, at first he was like, it was almost like, oh no, what do I do? He wasn't really like that. He was just like, all right, I'm going to take this on. And a month later, he was making more than what he was making at his other job. He just trusted in the process of it. And I think when you fight the process, it makes it much harder. And I know it's hard for us because we are scared. That's the biggest thing. We're scared of what's on the other side. But going back to a diamond or gold or the phoenix, the other side is beautiful. You just don't know it. You feel the fire burning, you feel the pressure, and you don't see what's on the other side. But when you can see that, okay, the other side is beautiful, you don't trust in the process, but that's where you need to surrender and let go. The universe will never let you down. You could say, but the universe did this to me. Don't blame the universe. The universe did that to you to help you bloom, to help you blossom, to help you shine. So trust in the universe. And I'm sorry when this bad shit happens to you. But when it continues or it's not ending, you need to start looking at it from a different perspective and see, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to change? What do I need to embrace? What do I need to let go of? And just love into that. Trust in that. Believe in that. As hard as it is, just know the other side is so much more beautiful. And the easier it is for you to let go, the easier the process will be. That's all I can say. Because like I said, I think that this process I just went through for the last 3 months could have been much harder had I not gone through my dark night of the soul a year ago. I would have just been like, why me? Why is this happening to me? Why can't I do this? I would have been complaining and like, is this ever going to end? Am I sick? Am I dying? What's going on? You know, I would have just been like the victim. Don't play the victim. Step up to what's happening to you and embrace it and understand it and dig into it. And like I said, I knew what was going on. Yes, there's those worries, but what if, but what if, but what if? But when you surrender, you can feel some of that comfort. And when you surrender to the process and know what's on the other side, it's much easier. And I'm sorry if you're going through shit. We all do. You are not alone. We all go through shit. Seriously, we all do. Even those people that look like they've got it all worked out. Do you really know what's going on inside of them? I've learned that people that are very happy and very nice are the ones that get sick very easily. Those are the people that they're like this, but they push everything down inside of them. And you know what that means. When you push all these emotions down inside of you, they get trapped and they turn into illness, dis-ease. So you can look at the person next door. You can look at that beautiful, picture-perfect family. But everyone is going through shit. They may be hiding it. They may have their shit come later on in life. Who knows? Or who knows? Maybe they got it all worked out. Maybe they are able to be present. Then be like them. Observe people that you see as successful, as happy, and try to see what they're doing. And look to see if they're truly happy or if they are appearing happy or if they're truly happy. The more you open up your heart, the more you'll be able to tell the difference between those that are truly happy and those that are pretending to be happy. But all I can say is we are all on this journey together. Yes, you are alone, but you're not alone. It is your own personal journey. And you have people around to help you. Even though you might feel alone, you are never alone. We are all one. And when you reach out, which was hard for me to do, it was so hard for me to reach out. I'm the one that's always like, I have a great life. I'm so happy. It was hard for me to admit I have a problem. I need help. What should I do? And people were just calling me up in open arms and just loving to me. And I was like, wow. But on the other hand, don't be that person that is always saying, I need help. Those are the victims. I need help. Please help me. What should I do? There's two different ones. There's the people that have a hard time asking for help, and they're the people that are basically asking for help and don't want to do their own work. Again, I'll wrap up again. Just be present, be open, surrender, trust, believe that everything will be okay. Everything will work out as it should. It may not be exactly what you want. It could be, because you can manifest what you want. It could be exactly what you want it to be, but you have to believe that it will be exactly what it will be. Sometimes though, to get to that point where you want it to be exactly where you want it to be, things are gonna burn up before you can get to that point. So trust in the process, believe in the process, and love the process, and it'll be much easier. Be that diamond in the rough.